The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Benguet is now leading the provinces with the highest risk level based on average daily attack rate. Latest data from the Octa research shows that areas with high one-week growth rate also include Mountain Province, Ilocos Norte, Davao del Sur, Apayao, Iloilo, Ifugao, and Cebu. Meanwhile, Metro Manila, Cavite, Rizal, and Bulacan logged negative growth rates but are still under high-risk classification. As COVID-19 cases continue to rise, more and more people have no choice but to go under quarantine. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us a sneak peek of how people are coping with isolation, both mentally and emotionally.
Being a mild COVID case, I thought things were gonna be easy. I just have to stay at home and drink paracetamol. But it turned out being stuck in isolation can be suffocating.
So pag hindi talaga nagkaroon talaga ng the usual routine ng ginagawa natin, ang nangyayari is nagre-refuse tayo sa change, and that is what they call maladjustment, no?
Dr. Sheila Hoxon, Guidance Director of FEU Manila, said isolation has this effect because first, the never-ending uncertainty of COVID, and second, it breaks our routine that has kept us sane.
And of course, pag nagkakaroon tayo ng mga maladjustments, pag lumalala yan with a certain severity and symptoms, nagiging adjustment disorder siya.
And symptoms of maladjustment include anxiety, boredom, and for many cases, self-pity. Now, if you're feeling any of these, it's important to remember that it's completely normal and that you are not alone. So how can we cope? Dr. Hoxon suggests keeping a journal. Writing down your experience can help you organize your thoughts, process your feelings, so you can have a better understanding of what you're going through.
Make it to a point that you write, is my thought objective? Is there a fact in terms of my thought? Or is my thought just an exaggeration of my opinion?
But it doesn't always have to be negative. Journaling is also a good way to immortalize happy memories and manifest your goal. Next, make an action plan. Create a structure on how your day would go, using a calendar to delegate the hours for work and the hours for leisure. Calming activities such as listening to relaxing music or doing short exercises is a good way to start your day. If you find it hard to function while working from home, changing your scenery by working in different parts of your home could help. Pro tip, get out of your pajamas. Some days I wear work clothes, beach outfits, and ones for partying, depending on my mood, just to get that feeling of normalcy. Lastly, have a support system. Chat or video call with a friend or family. Check how they're doing. Tell them how you're doing. Just talk to them to get your attention out of your head.
If there are small wins, celebrate that. If there are big wins, celebrate that. Go for consistency, no? And if it's not working, the brutal fact it's not working, change it.
These are just some of the coping strategies that have helped me. There are many more out there. Just choose the ones that work best for you. And just remember that you don't need to rush feeling better. Most of the time, it's best to start slow and steady. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
The Biden administration has started giving away free at-home tests and N95 masks to quell the threat of COVID-19. The big question is, what type of face mask is the CDC recommending Americans to wear at this time? Let's watch this.
As COVID cases continue to surge all over the country, people are wondering, well, what mask should I be wearing? And what's the difference between these KN95 and N95 masks? Here's what you should know. In 2020 and 2021, the U.S. urged regular Americans to hold off on buying these KN95 and N95 masks in order to save them for healthcare workers on the front lines, because they are more effective. However, with Omicron, the game has changed, and the U.S. has upped their supply of the masks. And while the CDC stands by their original guidance that any mask is better than no mask, they are issuing new guidance on their website to better reflect the different mask options available so that Americans can make a more informed decision for themselves. But the most important thing about wearing a mask is you need to wear it right. Otherwise, it's not effective. It needs to be tight on your face and go over both your nose and your mouth. As Americans have become aware of how much more effective KN95 and N95 masks are, they've also seen a surge in price. One pack of 40 KN95 masks now costs $79.99, up from just $16.99 in late November. A pack of 50 N95 masks is going for $57.15, compared with $23.19 in early October. So you might be shelling out more from your wallet, but experts say these masks should be everyone's first choice in protecting themselves. And while that might not be financially accessible for some people, some local governments have taken the initiative to provide their constituents with the masks at no cost. The Biden administration announced that they will be releasing 400 million N95 masks at no cost to Americans. The masks will be made available at a number of local pharmacies and community health centers, and officials expect the program to be fully operational by early February. This latest initiative comes after the launch of the federal website where Americans can place online orders for up to 4 at-home COVID-19 tests per residential address. The U.S. Postal Service will deliver the tests and expects the initial requests to be delivered within 7 to 12 days. Shipments will begin at the end of January. The kits are from the 500 million test order approved by President Joe Biden in December. In January, he said the administration is requiring an additional 500 million tests. So check around you and see what your options are.
Baia, an ancient Roman city that sank below the sea, is considered the world's largest underwater museum. Now, scientists are racing against time to save it from rock-eating bacteria. Let's watch this.
Emma, what do we know about this cluster and some of the theories that are being discussed?
Yeah, I mean, 5 people working in a cold chain storage facility in the district of Beijing have tested positive for COVID. This is part of a relatively small, by global standards, flare-up in the capital that's nonetheless causing a lot of consternation given we're just weeks away from the start of the Winter Olympics. So officials are saying that the facility these people worked in deals with imports as well as other sort of cold chain products sent around China. And that these workers who tested positive hadn't left Beijing in the past 2 weeks. So the implication being potentially they might have contracted the virus from products, which is a very favoured theory of Beijing.
So what is next for China in trying to contain the virus?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been able to get back to this much vaunted 0 cases for many months now, basically since Delta, much more transmissible, got into the country. And now we do have Omicron in China as well, with a couple of epicenters, the main one being in Tianjin. So at this stage, they are still prosecuting the virus very stringently. They are trying to lens in and find, every case to snuff them out through mass testing, that sort of thing. And it is causing a fair bit of disruption, persisting with this strategy. And then the outlook for that is that it will continue for some time to come, at least, through the Winter Olympics and probably through the Communist Party Congress this year, which we don't have an exact date for.
The agriculture sector is saddened by the DA's move to import 60 million kilos. That's according to Nick Briones, a nominee of the Agricultural Sector Alliances of the Philippines. He said there is no shortage of galunggong supply in the country, with 45 million kilos of the fish still in cold storage. Briones said the country's economic managers always come up with, quote, the wrong plans, which gives local farmers and fishermen a hard time.
Talagang kulang na kulang sa suporta at proteksyon ng administrasyong na nakaupo. At sa ngayon ay talagang lahat ng magsasaka ay nakakaranas ng paghihirap at pagkalugi sa hinga ng maling policy ng mga economic managers ng kaisipan na tayo ay magkaroon ng tinatawag na food security na galing sa mga produktong galing sa ibang bansa. So, ang nangyayari tuloy, yan ang nagiging sanhi ng pagkalugi, umaatras ang ating mga magtatanim ng palay, gulay, umaatras yung mag-aalaga ng hayop, ang mga isda.
Miss Philippines Tracy Maureen Perez makes it to the top 15 shortlist for Miss World 2021. Perez was named one of the top 15 fast-track winners of pre-pageant challenges, listed among the top 40 finalists. On Instagram, the Cebuana beauty queen expressed gratitude for the quick break she's having in the U.S. after the pageant was postponed last month due to rising COVID-19 cases. Perez says she took the time to recharge as she readies to fight her silent battles in the future. Only the top 40 candidates will return to Puerto Rico for the rescheduled coronation night in March. Here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. Hashtag Marcos Duwag trended over the weekend after presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos skipped an interview hosted by veteran journalist Jessica Soho. Reproduction rate in Metro Manila continues to go down, but the health department says it's still too early to downgrade to alert level 2. And Mark Magnifico Magsayo remains undefeated and is now the new WBC featherweight champion. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe. Philippines, we are One News.